What's good? How was y'all doing? Today we is back. The TV show that brainwashed children part two. Make sure if y'all haven't, go watch part one type shit like that so you be caught up with the shit, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, so quick recap on some shit like that. Motherfuckers, you know what I'm saying, who watched part one. Basically, I don't know what country, bro. I'm gonna be real. Only thing I know is that they got this witch version of Mickey Mouse and shit. And on top of that, like it's propaganda, you know what I'm saying, where they have like this live they have this live air television they had this live air television show where basically they talk about, you know what I'm saying, I hating Jews and this and that, and to the kids, you know what I'm saying, and telling them, oh well, um I wasn't able to do my homework because the Jews blew up my house. The Jews don't want me to learn, so you got to study extra hard. And basically, you know what I'm trying to say is they really tried to brainwash the kids to hate the Jews, to blame them for everything bad to go in their life, or if anything bad goes like education wise and this and that, you know, it happened with the Jews, so that now that when they grow up, that they already have it in their mind at a very young age that, you know what I'm saying, I want to do something to these people and some shit like that. But without further ado, we hop in the video, y'all. Appreciate y'all for watching. Make sure y'all leave a like, comment, share, subscribe. If you're not right, do bit.
During this time, the company had become aware of the show and their use of a Mickey Mouse-like character, with Walt Disney's
This
own
nigga
daughter
is
coming out and
nigga
condemning
Wiki
the
Mouse,
program,
nigga.
calling it pure evil, with there more than likely having been legal threats lobbied against the show, as not only were they illegally using this character, but they were using him to spread anti-Semitism. It was blatant copyright infringement, and knowing the power that Disney had, there was simply no fighting them, and the showrunners knew that they had to address this issue before Disney dropped the hammer. Which leads us to Season 1, Episode 5, the likely premature finale to the very first season of the show, where they would handle the copyright issue of Farfour in what was probably the worst way imaginable, leading to by far the most infamous moment in Tomorrow's Pioneers history. In the episode titled Farfour and the Jew, Farfour is speaking to his grandfather, who shares the story of his people and the land they once owned, and in his mind still did, even going as far as pulling out a key and documents to the land.
لما ترجع البلاد بتفتح فيها فرفور. هذا يا جدي المفتاح. هذا المفتاح. هذا المفتاح. هذه كمان اوراق تثبت كمان الارض إلنا فرفور. هذه امانه معك فرفور. اوعى تفرط بالارض ده فرفور.
Though after handing Farfour the documents, this happens.
يا جدي ما تخافش. انا يا فرفور تعبان كتير. لا يا جدي. حاسس حالي بدي اموت. لا يا جدي. حاسس حالي اني قريب من ارض الربيع. أتمنى يا جدي إنك تحافظ عليها. حاضر يا جدي. أنا جدي. أنا جدي. لا يا جدي. أنا جدي. جدي.
What the hell?
جدي حبيبي. حملني على الأمانة الكبيرة. وأنا مش عارف قديش بدنا نتحرر عن البلاد من جلد اليهود المجرمين المقتزمين اللي قتلوا جدي وقتلوا كل الدنيا.
This was a far heavier way of broaching this topic than the show had used before, as this time they were directly targeting the emotions of the children watching at home.
They
now
sick
seeing
as
their
fuck,
favorite
bro.
character crying on his dead relative before promising that he will liberate their land. And things only get worse from here, as the video cuts to a title screen that read, "Farfour is interrogated." Here, we see Farfour being interviewed by an Israeli official who demands that he give up the key and the documents which his late grandfather had given him, even offering large sums of money.
سمعنا فرفور انه سيدك اعطاك مفاتيح الارض والوراق. مين قال لك هذا الكلام؟
I know that nigga hot in that big ass costume, nigga.
لكن المطلوب فرفور. طيب وايش المطلوب هلقت مني؟ المطلوب فرفور ان تعطينا أوراق الأرض.
أوراق الأرض اللي جدي اعطاني إياهم أمانة عشان أحافظ عليهم وعشان أحرر فيهم القدس وأحرر لما تتحرر الأراضي أنا وأصدقائي نروح على أرضنا ونقعد فيها. أنت أعطيك إياها أنت جدي ما قال لي أعطيك.
بدنا فرفور، بدنا نشتري الأرض. شري يا فرفور، بدنا نديك مصاري كتير. بدك تاخد مصاري كتير فرفور وناخد الأوراق فرفور. أوراق ولا حاجة فرفور.
Though, as preached by Farfour before, he didn't surrender, which the officer didn't take kindly to.
مش إحنا اللي بنبيع أراضينا لناس إرهابيين.
فرفور
نعم.
بدك تجيب الأوراق، يعني بدك تجيب الأوراق.
مش سايب الأوراق ومش سايب إيه مش سايب الأوراق.
فرفور
نعم. مش سايب لك الأوراق.
بدك تجيب الأوراق فرفور. بدك تجيب الأوراق فرفور.
Bro, what the hell?
بدك تجيبه، يعني بدك تجيبه فرفور.
مش سايبه لناس مجرمين. لناس أنتم لناس إرهابية.
إحنا أندال، إحنا إرهابية فرفور.
And you think about it, bro. We looking at it from our perspective. You know what I'm saying? Either an adult perspective or a teenager perspective. You know what I'm saying? Not a 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 is 10, 11, 12, even that around that age. I'm talking about like maybe 16, 17, 18, that type of teenager shit. You look at it from our perspective, 16 and up on some shit like this. Like, bro, like, you know what I'm saying? We clearly see some propaganda, agenda going on, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that anyone like younger won't see that shit, but it's very hard. It's hard because like their brains still developing. They're not really kind of really aware that they're here for real. Like, you know what I mean? Like they're aware that they here, but like it's like a certain age I feel like you get where you like, damn, like I'm alive, I'm here, you know what I'm saying? I know me on some shit. I'm not just living, just going outside and just playing. It's like, bro, the way we see it versus them, they, you know what I'm saying? This is really traumas. It's like traumatize them. It's like, damn, like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Why is this Jew doing this to Mickey? You know what I'm saying? It's fake ass Mickey. Why you doing this to Mickey? Trying to get the documents and shit like that. And all that's doing is pushing more in their mind, like, damn, I don't want to end up like that. You know what I'm saying? I don't want my families to end up like that. So as soon as the military motherfuckers, come and be like, bro, we want y'all to come fight this shit, bro. They gonna be on go with this shit. It ain't gonna be no question, bro. They gonna be on straight go.
The scene ends with Farfour being attacked by the officer before the show fades back to Sarah. And if that wasn't crazy enough, this is what she had to say about the outcome of that beating.
نعم أحبابنا الأطفال، لقد فقدنا أعز صديق لنا فرفور.
Oh, they said they killed the nigga?
وهو يدافع عن أرضه، يدافع عن أرض آبائه وأجداده. استشهد على أيدي المجرمين القتلة، قتلة الأطفال الأبرياء.
In a show made for preschoolers, they quite literally kill their most beloved character right before our eyes, as he was literally beaten to death. It's easy to see the message they were going for with this episode,
Yep.
and I can imagine how effective it was at spreading Hamas's ideology. As just
Especially the
picture
kids,
how
bro.
traumatic it would be to watch this as a child, and watch as your favorite character is just murdered. I mean, that's comparable to kids in the US watching Barney, and all of a sudden he's detained and killed by someone like a North Korean official. I mean, it's no wonder that this moment has since gone on to become a classic meme, as it is just so bizarre in both a comical and horrifying way, seeing what essentially equates to Mickey Mouse being beaten to death. And for most, this moment is by far the highlight of the show, or the lowlight depending on who you're asking, with many likely being completely unaware that the program actually continued running without Farfour for 3 more seasons, and seasons that by far account for the majority of the show's most disturbing moments. And on the topic of disturbing moments, there was actually one more scene that I was able to find here at the last minute that is by far the darkest in all of Season 1. It's fairly obscure, to the point that I wasn't fully able to determine what episode it was from, but based on how Sarah is dressed, it seemingly came from the very first episode. The scene depicts another call-in section where the hosts press a young girl about what she is willing to sacrifice to take back the Al-Aqsa Mosque, a world-famous mosque that was taken from the Palestinians by the hand of Israel, in which the entire station itself was named after.
سنابل انت شو حتعملي يعني من اجل الاقصى؟ شو حتفدي يعني روحك من اجل الاقصى؟ شو
How will
هتعملي
you sacrifice yours? Hold on, run that back.
من اجل الاقصى؟ شو حتفدي
How
يعني
will you sacrifice your soul for the sake of whatever that shit is? What will you do? Dog,
من اجل الاقصى؟ شو هتعملي؟
I will shoot.
هنعمل يعني كيف احنا بدنا يا سنابل نحرر
نقاوم
وبعدين هذا حفظناها وبعدين
احنا بدنا تقومنا اليهود احنا بدنا ندافع عن
What?
الاقصى بارواحنا وبدمائنا ولا لا يا سنابل؟ لا تستسلم.
Here, this little girl, who is no more than 8 or 9 years old, expresses her desire not only to fight, but to annihilate the Jews, while closing the segment by stating how she will commit martyrdom. Or in other words, she was going to give up her life to fight for this cause, which, as mentioned prior, Hamas would often do by means of suicide bombing.
Bro, this shit darker than a bitch, my nigga. What did I just hear, bro? Y'all make sure I like this bitch up on some shit like that. Motherfucker, this goddamn fucking story is dark as hell, bro. God
Although
damn.
most of the show to this point can easily be laughed off, it's moments like this where things take a much scarier
They got kids
turn,
running that
as the show's
suicide
true intentions begin to reveal
bombers and
themselves.
shit, man.
And as we move forward into season 2, these moments only became more prevalent.
You are seeing it here exclusively first. Farfur is dead.
With season 1 in the books, the impact that Tomorrow's Pioneers had in the span of just a few episodes can't be overstated. The show immediately became the most popular kids program in the region, with children anywhere from the ages of 3 to 4 all the way up to 12 and 13 years old tuning in religiously each Friday. And given how unavoidable its main themes are, it's likely that the anti-Semitism it was preaching was in fact resonating with its viewers. In fact, many critics of the show were going so far as to claim that it was outright brainwashing its viewers to not only hate Israelis, but to commit acts of violence against them.
Instead of being entertained, they're being indoctrinated.
And at the end of the day, I don't think Hamas was even trying
That's
to
big
hide
facts.
this either. But following the death of Farfur, all eyes were on the show, with the whole world wondering, what will they do next? How could they replace this beloved character that had brought the show so much infamy? Well, given time constraints and Al-Aqsa TV's desire to air the program every Friday, the truth is that they were unprepared to replace Farfur, and the following week, the show was forced to start season 2 without a co-host for Sarah. The episode was titled Sarah and the Hadith, and unfortunately, practically all of the episode is currently missing, with the exception of one short clip, as it shows us yet another call-in section and yet another instance of anti-Semitism.
هم شرقي النهر وأنتم غربيه حتى يقول الحجر والشجر يا مسلم يا عبد الله تعال وراء يهودي.
Little ass kids, bro.
Immediately after this episode aired, the creators of the show realized that they needed something else to appeal to the children. The show was just not the same without Farfur, as it seemingly lost both its shock factor as well as its entertainment factor, making the whole product immediately less interesting. And so, in Season 2, Episode 2, the creators of the show would come together and create a plan. As though Farfur was gone for good, there was one other character that they could turn to, his cousin.
Who?
من أنت؟
The which version of goddamn Mickey Mouse? Who the hell is cousin, bitch? A bee,
ولا
nigga?
نحول
That.
تريد؟
What the fuck, nigga? Bro, that bitch not even a B, nigga. I ain't even trying to make a joke on that shit. That shit gonna be corny than bitch. Hell no.
تواصل؟
All I know is that motherfucker from Wish.
This is Nahul the Bee, and much as he desired within this video, he would become the
That
show's new
shit
co-host,
ugly.
just like his cousin Farfour. And on the topic of Farfour, Nahul vehemently praised him and vowed not only to continue in his footsteps with tomorrow's pioneers, but also he wanted to follow his path to martyrdom.
على نهج فرفور، نهج الإسلام هو الحل، نهج البطولة، نهج الاستشهاد، نهج المجاهدين. أنا وأصدقائي سنواصل مسيرة فرفور وسننتقم له من أعداء الله، قتلة الأنبياء، قتلة الأطفال الأبرياء.
And not only did he express his desire for this to happen to him, but he also mentions how all of his friends should follow in these footsteps as well, with his friends likely referring to the young children watching at
Young
home,
ass kid.
providing what almost feels like a call to action for the young viewers. Episode 3, titled Nahul's Rant, only offers us a small snippet of surviving video, but it's still enough to get the basic gist. The premise was simple. Essentially, it was just a lengthy monologue performed by Nahul, as he tells the children that we will all liberate Al-Aqsa, while using some choice words and further pulling at the emotions of the viewers at home.
نعم، سنحرر أقصانا من دنس اليهود المجرمين الذين قتلوا جدي وقتلوا فرفور.
The episode also has a call-in section where a child expresses his desire to become a journalist one day, to which Nahul says,
احنا بحاجة يا نحول إلى صحفيين
They was programming the fuck out these kids, bro.
فرفور والأطفال الصغار.
نعم يا نحول
ونحن كلنا مجاهدون.
بإذن الله.
The video then ends with Nahul shouting, "We are all jihad warriors, Allah willing." Nahul's big day out. This is by far one of the show's most unusual episodes, which is really saying something. The program starts out with Nahul and Sarah discussing their desire to occupy Al-Aqsa.
الأقصى يا أصدقائي ينتظركم أنتم. الأقصى يا أحبابي حزين جدا. الأقصى أصدقائي أسير ومحاصر من قتلة الأطفال المجرمين. يجب علينا أن ننهض لكي ننتقم له من اليهود المجرمين الصهاينة المحتلين. يجب أن نحرر الأقصى.
To which Nahul explains how he believes they can achieve this.
نعم، أتعلمين كيف سنحرره ونأخذ مفتاحه كما حرره صلاح الدين؟
كيف يا نحول؟
نعم، كيف؟ بصلاة الفجر
نعم.
وبالدم والشمس
What?
والتضحية، بالآلام، بالشهداء والصبر. وهذا هو المفتاح يا سراء.
This may be the show's darkest moment yet, as Nahul directly calls out the children watching and says that the only way they will regain control of Al-Aqsa is by means of morning prayers, blood, sacrifice, and pain, further elaborating a few seconds later by saying that the key to all of this is by using means of martyrs. Sarah then attempts to calm Nahul down by telling him that the children, the pioneers of tomorrow, will do what it takes to regain control of Al-Aqsa, which, as stated before, will require martyrdom.
لا تحزن يا نحول، فأنا وأنت وأحبابنا الأطفال بل الكبار جيل رواد الغد بإذن الله تعالى سنعيد المسجد الأقصى وسنطهره من دنس الصهاينة يا نحول.
إن شاء الله.
It really feels like the whole show up until this point was leading to this moment.
It,
a
nigga,
direct call
shit.
to action, essentially conditioning and then asking these children to martyr themselves. Something that was first hinted at, then heavily implied, and now expressly stated. I mean, they are literally asking their child viewers to sacrifice their lives. And as mentioned prior, Hamas's most notable way of martyring themselves is by means of bombing, leading to some arguing that the show is expressly telling these kids that they should become suicide bombers. However, though it always ends the same, martyrdom does come in many different forms, so for now, let's leave this as a working theory, as it will come up again later. But surprisingly,
that's one of the that's one of the darkest things that could, I mean, that could honestly happen, bro. Like, kids becoming bombers, my nigga, or some shit. Like run up in the building, motherfuckers just explode, bro. Like it like, you know, it's still bad as the adult, but it's like a billion times worse when it's kids, because it's like these are kids, they willing to do anything to win, bro, or to get whatever they want. I'm just like, dog, like, no, bro, that shit's so fucked up, bro.
the episode didn't even end there, with the rest being dedicated to a fun trip that Nahul had at the zoo, which is where things devolve into complete chaos.
انا فتحت الباب ودخلت في القفص ودون ما شفت الزلمه وهالوقت انا في قفص اللي هو البسس والبسس هنا مبينين مساكين غلابه محبوسين بدي العب فيهم هدياك لسه نايمه هالوقت انا بدي اهجم عليها.
I'm not actually sure how much YouTube
Animal
will let me
abuse?
show of this, but Nahul enters an exhibit filled with cats and proceeds to instantly start abusing them. And the abuse isn't all that horrible when you watch it, but it's definitely enough to cause discomfort to the animals at the very least. And things progress from there, as Nahul then visits a cage with 2 lions in it and proceeds to start throwing rocks at them.
Yeah, definitely animal abuse. I'm gonna call that shit AB. I wish they would have just busted out that damn cage. Tear that nigga up on my life, bro.
It is just the strangest thing that I have ever seen, and the justification for it is even stranger, as ultimately, Sarah sits Nahul down after the fact and scolds him for his behavior.
ما هذا الذي فعلته يا نحول؟ ألم تسمع بالحديث الشريف الذي قاله الرسول صلى الله عليه وسلم؟ يعني قال بما معناه يعني أنه دخلت امرأة النار في هرة حبستها فلا هي أطعمتها ولا هي تركتها، والله يعني أيضا يعني الله عاقبها بالنار يا نحول، وهذا كان مصيرها، وإن بقيت على هذا الحال فسيكون مصيرك.
And that is how the episode ends. So their message is to not abuse animals or you will go to hell, while quite literally going out and abusing animals themselves for the show. It just almost doesn't feel
Being
real
hypocritical
how
as
unusual
fuck.
it is, and certainly there would have been better ways to tell this message. Strangely enough, despite the showrunners at one point promising a new episode of Tomorrow's Pioneers each Friday, there's actually a 6-month gap in between episodes 4 and 5, with the show either having gone off the air or the episodes having gone unarchived, which is probably the more likely explanation. And if anything were to have aired between these episodes, then it seems to be currently lost, and for that reason, I'll still be referring to this as episode 5. Titled Nahul and Sarah's Feast of the Sacrifice Extravaganza, this
We gonna go and stop right here, y'all. I think this video been like 20-something minutes. Part 3 on the way soon. You know what I'm saying, bro? This shit fucked up, my nigga. Real life on some shit like that. But appreciate y'all for watching. Make sure y'all leave a like, comment, share, subscribe, and I will see y'all in part 3.